Mhm.
Hi everyone, this is Michelle. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am here on Expat Life Mexico. We are going to have a conversation with Dina, who participated in our July relocation tour here in San Miguel de Allende. This is a little bit kind of behind, but we're here. We're going to talk about her experience and all the cool things that we got to share with her and the time that she was able to spend in San Miguel de Allende. I'm also here with Brianna, who is the manager for Casa ELM. She holds it down, and I'm super appreciative. Thank you as well to Dina for trusting in us on this journey to try to figure out where you want to be in the future. So we're just gonna talk, we keep it very conversational, and we just kind of like to share with our audience exactly what we're doing and how people feel about it. And if you all have any questions or you want to join one of our tours, you can go to CasaELM.com. That's CasaELM.com and see what tours are scheduled. I believe we're booked out for 2022, but we do have a whole calendar for 2023. If you have any questions, you can always shoot us an email. We offer pretty much a Saturday to Saturday program. We're going to be adding some really cool things on for next year as well. But currently, this is what we're, been offering people a lot of information about how to properly move to Mexico if that's your thing and that's what you're interested in. And we also like to be here to provide a community for those that are interested in picking up their life in wherever and moving to this amazing city that we live in. So without further chatting, I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself, Dina.
Well, Michelle, thank you for inviting me. And hello, Brianna. It's great to see you again. I'm Dina. I'm a resident of beautiful South Florida. And I had my first trip to Mexico as a whole at the end of July, where I stayed at Casa ELM. I was there for 8 days. Beautiful experience. A little bit about myself. I'm in healthcare normally over the past 25, almost 30 years. I'm also a member of the military. I'm about to retire. So hence the reason for, yes, the reason for looking into Mexico. And I came across Michelle from doing a lot of YouTube and a lot of research, came across her channel, listened to a lot of the videos and what people had to say just about Mexico in general, about San Miguel. And it sparked my interest. And I chose that as the first place for me to visit in Mexico.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
We appreciate that. So before we go on, I'll let Brianna jump in and tell us a little bit about herself.
Hi, my name is Brianna. I'm manager at Casa ELM. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia. And I just, I've been spending my 2022 helping you all who want to relocate to San Miguel, helping you all with itineraries, with the relocation tours, and standing alongside Michelle with everything that she has going with Expat Life Mexico.
Thank you. Thank you. Brianna's awesome. So if you decide to take a tour or you have questions, she's probably one of mostly the person who's responding. So we have a lot of things that we're managing and handling just between the two of us. So I really appreciate her holding down the fort, especially when the guest comes, you have someone there at the house to just kind of help you, get a taxi or even sometimes figure out, how to communicate for certain things in Spanish. So she's extremely instrumental and I'm super grateful. I always tell her, you can never leave. So, but I'm really excited that she's there and, just kind of keep building this network of amazing people that are coming through, and honestly leaving a lot of positive, good energy at Casa ELM. I'm beyond like humbled by it, to say the least. So anyway, with Dina, she was able to come down and just like kind of tell us a little bit, or what did you find, I guess, maybe most helpful in terms of our program that we put together? I know we did a lot of fun stuff, but just kind of maybe something maybe you weren't expecting to kind of, you know, give you the most information.
Okay. What I found most helpful in helping me get acquainted with Mexico and with San Miguel is the briefings and the presentations that you guys put together. That was extremely, extremely helpful. You had, I believe, a lawyer, a health insurance representative, a real estate agent. I mean, no one was pushing and trying to sell you or anything. They were just giving you information. So you felt, although you read about it and you do your research online, sitting there face to face with a lawyer, a Mexican lawyer at that, you felt you were getting it directly from the horse's mouth. So I found that very, very helpful. As far as the relocation part of it, of course, we did a lot of fun things and, you know, excursions and getting to know Mexico. But if you're looking and talking about a relocation tour, getting these experts involved and getting information directly from them, that was priceless.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love the fact that we're using people locally. You know, that's always kind of the goal, is to pour into people who are experts here. You know, I don't claim to have you come and I'm explaining immigration, the immigration process to you, or the real estate process. I really think that the folks that are on board and a part of this program are the ones that you need. You know, they're going to help you get it done correctly. Especially with Maru, you know, she definitely has like the whole umbrella. If you're interested in doing something real estate related, where you can have a notary under her business umbrella already, or an attorney already under her umbrella. So it's just kind of one of the things where we connect people to the folks that are already in, you know, doing these things, that know exactly what they're talking about. Yeah, I like to cook, so I could help you cook. I'll make the meal on Friday. So,
that was a good part too, but that's not part of the relocation.
Yeah. So,
but yes, that was great.
Yeah. So I don't recall exactly, but did you do like anything on your free day? I can't remember. Did we went to La Gruta? I don't remember.
Did we? Yes, we did. We did.
Okay.
And I don't remember what that market was called that you took us to.
Oh, the
That was
Tuesday
actually
market, the
Tuesday market. So you really got a feel of how the locals live,
That's
not just the tourists doing things. That was excellent. And when I had free time, I basically just walked to Central. It was a nice walk from Casa ELM. And that allowed me to explore different neighborhoods. I literally just walked around and got myself lost exploring different neighborhoods. And I just came across some real treasures. And the people were just talking to me. I'd walk around the street, people would talk, locals, as well as I met a lot of foreigners. It's surprisingly, I met a lot of Americans, of course, that were there, and people from different places. And they were there exploring San Miguel also. So it was great. Yeah, it was absolutely wonderful. And the locals were very, very friendly. Very, very friendly and willing to. I don't speak Spanish, so they were willing to help me, even though I couldn't really communicate in Spanish. So that was good.
Nice, nice. I'm glad it felt welcoming, because that's exactly what I think about it.
It did, it did. And I think we went to the hot springs.
Mhm.
That was awesome.
Yeah, we
That
did.
was,
We did.
yes, we did. We went to the hot springs, and that was my first time at a hot spring anywhere. So it was almost like a religious experience. I felt
That's
so
true.
relaxed.
That's true. You just need someone in there to give you,
Yeah.
baptize you a little bit, right?
Yeah, I thought John the Baptist was coming.
In the
It
cave.
was great. Yes. It was great. Nice environment, warm. You felt like you were in nature, completely in nature, because
That's true.
you had all the trees and not just the water and pools. That was nice. And we met a whole group of other women, expats or people that are relocating to San Miguel.
That's right.
We met, um, yeah, we met quite a few, and we just had a good time. It was almost like
Love it.
fellowship in the water.
That's right. That's right. It is. It is. It's like you get that nice kind of maybe a little more mature, quiet,
Yeah,
meditative
yeah,
kind of group in the morning. Because when you get there
yes,
at 7, people are just kind of like, oh, and then they're going in, and it's just
yes.
really beautiful. I love
It
going
was
there.
beautiful.
I love going there.
Mm-hmm,
Definitely one of my
mm-hmm,
favorite spots. I wanted to ask you, like,
mm-hmm.
if you
Yeah.
remember, what was one of your like favorite neighborhoods that you got to see? Do you remember the names or any?
Mm. I do remember the names. I can say it in my head, but I can't really enunciate because some of them are in Spanish and I'm gonna sound.
Not to
But
put
I
you on the
remember,
spot, but go ahead.
yes, not at all, not at all. I remember San Antonio.
Mhm.
That
Yes.
was that was quite a nice neighborhood. There was
The
Guanajuato. Okay,
Guardiana or
that one,
Guadalupe. Okay. Guardiana.
Guadiana. I
Okay.
thought that was nice. Is that the one that was right on top of the hill? We really went up a steep hill. Um,
Oh,
Beautifully, they had bougainvilleas, beautiful flowers all over the place on the buildings.
I don't know
Uh,
because those are everywhere, but
ah, true,
Guardiana
true.
maybe it was, or Guadalupe maybe. I don't remember the names.
See,
Shame
that's
on me.
why
I don't remember all of them either.
even more shame on me because the names are in Spanish. I just can't
That's
get it.
okay. That's
But
okay.
we went through several neighborhoods. And yes, they all have a similar feel, but I specifically remember San Antonio because it just reminded me of the village in New York City. As
Yeah,
I grew up in New York City, it was so artsy.
that's
Um,
true.
and you felt the real local feel. You didn't feel
Hmm.
so touristy,
Right.
even though it's not far from Central. None of the neighborhoods were really far from Central.
Yeah, I mean, a
So
lot of
yeah.
people really do like San Antonio because it does have a lot of murals, and they definitely have walks and tours that go through that neighborhood quite a bit. And I think it's
Hmm.
at Guadiana, that's also very artsy. So maybe,
Hmm.
and it's close
Hmm.
to Independencia, which is kind of, really a more locals neighborhood because there's lots of goods. I like
Hmm.
going over there to shop because you get great
Hmm.
deals
Hmm.
on fruits and vegetables and flowers and things like that. So I
Hmm.
love that neighborhood. And you can find anything that you need, repair shops and candy shops for
Yeah.
your piñatas or whatever. So yeah, there's a
Hmm.
lot of really cool, they call them colonias here. And
Hmm.
like you said,
Hmm.
everything's relatively close together. You don't have to,
Right.
it's not so spread
Right.
out. So yeah,
Right.
that's
And
cool.
the art, I loved it. The colors, the
Mhm.
art. You're walking on the sidewalk and you peep through a doorway. It doesn't look like much, and then it opens up into
Yes.
this magnificent, almost like museum looking thing. And then you go in, and everywhere you turn there's a shop or a restaurant, and it's just beautiful. It just fits my vibe completely.
Yeah, you said that a lot on this trip. I was like, she
I
is
did.
coming back. She is
I am
coming back.
coming
I'm
back.
reeling
I
her in like a
am.
fish. I
Yeah,
love
and
it.
you don't have to try hard.
No, she's like, I'm coming. No,
I
you were
am.
saying that
I
quite a
am.
bit. I love it. I love it. I know
Mhm.
you were definitely in her element because we'd be like, where's Dina?
Yes.
She's in town.
I took
She
off.
was like coming with all her little shopping bags and stuff and her new
Yes,
hat. I loved it.
I just, I just took off and I went exploring, and I felt safe. I felt fine. It doesn't matter if I didn't speak the language because I felt I was communicating. So it was great. And I walked towards Central and I walked away from Central, and it was still fine. I felt fine. I felt safe. It was lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely.
So
Yeah.
maybe you can share a little bit about the process when I think you were able to get an appointment pretty quickly as well,
Mhm,
right? Maybe you can
mhm,
share a little bit
mhm,
about that because I think some folks are having struggles in certain parts of the country. Maybe you could talk
mm,
about your experience with Orlando and
mhm,
see,
mhm,
just in case. Close the door, honey.
mhm.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, no problem. So yes, what you said about certain people having trouble, certain parts of the country is definitely dependent on where you're at, I believe.
Mhm.
Okay?
Mhm.
And it helped quite a bit. I don't know if it was a confidence booster, but it helped quite a bit after having the briefing with what's the
Sonia,
attorney?
Sonia Diaz. Mhm.
Sonia Diaz,
Mhm.
who one, she supplied all the information down to the application. Okay.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, she did, down to the application. And she told us basically to keep trying,
Okay.
and you'll get in. And by sheer luck, we called
Mhm.
and was able to get an appointment. And prior to that, I did try calling and I wasn't able to get anybody, but I called and
Okay.
I was able to get someone on the line. They ask you, just routine demographical questions, basically.
Okay.
And I live closer to the Miami consulate, but I know it's a zoo down there. I prefer to
Yeah.
go to the Orlando. So that was my decision to make. I asked them. They try to send me to Miami, but I said, no, I don't want to go there.
Who was
I
trying
prefer
to send you there?
the
Who?
Mexican consulate because they go
Oh,
by your zip code. So
oh,
I gave
okay.
them, I gave them my address and zip code, and it comes up the consulate in Miami that's
Okay.
closest to me. But I asked to go to Orlando. I said, oh, I don't mind the drive. I'll go to Orlando,
Okay.
and they abide. Yeah, they honored my choice and they gave me an appointment. Actually, I have the appointment in October. It's not
Right.
bad. It's not bad. And I think I called August. There wasn't
Okay.
anything in September.
Hmm.
There wasn't anything at all. I don't know if it's just, I don't know if it's a blackout period or they just not scheduling appointments for September.
Okay.
But October's fine with me. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
I have, mhm, I have the appointment for early October.
Did they tell you anything about what you have to bring with you? Did they give you that in an email list just so people kind of know, or did they give you any
Act-
props about it?
Actually, the consulate did not. Sonia gave me everything.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
Sonia gave me everything that I needed. It's also online. Okay. And
Right.
if you go to their website, because I did that also before actually meeting Sonia, it's there. So
Okay.
do a little bit of research. But Sonia already had it there.
Okay.
So she gave me all the information, gave me a list
Hmm.
of the papers that I need to bring
Okay.
to the consulate at the time of my appointment. What the consulate did give, they gave you this long number, which is very important. um, they emphasize that you need that number the time of your appointment. So don't lose
Oh,
that number. So you won't be seeing it. You need that
so
number,
it's
and
like an appointment number once
it's almost like an appointment.
got it. Okay.
Yes, yes, it's a very lengthy number, but they emphasize how important that number was.
Got it. Okay.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
you called, you booked it online, and then they emailed you an appointment number. Okay.
No, no,
Okay.
no, no, no.
No?
We did all this on the phone.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, the day that
Okay.
I called, I spoke to a live person
Okay.
and we did all this on the phone. They asked me all the questions
Mhm.
and they gave me the number and gave me the appointment date, and that was that. It was really
Excellent.
simple.
Did they
Mhm.
tell you what the fees were for you to, not about your income, but the fees
Right.
for
To
you to
pay
register to,
for,
right.
yes, the lady mentioned it,
Mhm.
what the fee would be, but
Do
I
you
knew what
remember?
it was.
Do you remember what it was? Approximately.
58, I think it's approximately either 48 or 58.
Okay.
It's not anything,
Absorbent. Okay.
untold. Yes,
Okay.
yes,
And I just wanted to
yes.
clarify, because we're talking about Sonia, for those who probably may be watching this for the first time. Sonia Diaz
Mm-hmm,
is kind of like the expert here for immigration in San Miguel de Allende. She also has an office in, I believe, in Puerto Vallarta, and another office, and I don't know where the third one is. But she started out in San Miguel. She's been doing this for a long time, and this is her specialty. So what she does with our program is that she comes to our guest and she basically spends about 1 hour and she goes over everything with you, how you should, apply for your specific situation. Everyone has a different situation. So one of the things that I used to tell
mm-hmm,
people with my relocation consultations online, is everyone's journey is very different, like everyone
yes.
has like a very
Mm-hmm,
specific thing. We had a couple that came for one of our private relocation tours and they wanted to drive their cars in. Other people want to bring their pets, other people may not qualify, but is there another way to prepare yourself financially where maybe you qualify in 6 months or 12 months? So, the information that people are getting from Sonia and just even from the tour in general is very thorough. There's a lot of things I think that people don't think of. And when they start hearing it, it sort of creates a whole
mm-hmm,
other like ball rolling of questions that help them plan and better prepare to move to Mexico so that, you don't end up spending maybe a lot of money making mistakes, because that's what happened to me.
mm-hmm.
So,
Oh,
and it's not a complaint. It's just kind of what kind of pushed me down the road to share
mm,
what my experiences were. And now that I know who can help, connecting everyone to that line of experts basically. So
mm-hmm,
Sonia is the one. There are several others that we use as well and we refer people to, but she's definitely the person who is overly well known, and her website is chock
mm-hmm,
full of information
mm,
about medical insurance, about buying and selling, just you name it. There's so much. We also provide, a person who talks about medical insurance as well, banking. There's a lot happening during this week. So I just kind of wanted to elaborate on, the people that are coming to talk to our group, that they're very well versed and knowledgeable about each of these specific areas. Yeah.
Oh, I want to add, even when I got back home, as I'm gathering the paperwork that from the list that she gave
Mhm.
me, I had some questions and I emailed her. I
Mhm.
did a couple of
Good.
times. And
Excellent.
yeah, she responded, no problem. And she gave
Excellent.
me, yeah, she responded to me. It was great.
Excellent. Excellent. I love that. So what do you think your, I don't know, let's say plans are, but, some people want to
Ah,
come and they want to stay here. Some people want it as a base. do you think you want to like kind of check out? Maybe this is a base, or check out other parts of Mexico?
I definitely will make it a base for
Mhm.
now. And the reason I'm choosing that as a base is because it's central. So
That's
I
true.
could, there's a lot I can do from that area, and I really already love the area.
Mhm.
So for now, that will be my base
Mhm.
as I investigate Mexico some more. So I'm definitely going to come into San Miguel and
Mhm.
stay there long term. And then from there, I intend to travel.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I'll come with you.
Oh, yes, please, please. You speak Spanish, Brianna.
Brianna is better than I am. Brianna's coming. I love it. I love it.
Yes.
I love
Yeah.
it. I love it.
Yeah.
So how did you feel about even just sharing like the space? Because we had some guests that were there. They,
Mhm.
had participated in the previous tour, and they were still there. For me, it's always a beautiful thing to see people coming together, not knowing each other under the same roof, and then also leaving with, I hope, a friend, in San Miguel,
Mhm.
a network of support. Like, what's your input on that?
Oh, it was wonderful. Actually, a couple of the ladies that I met there at the Casa ELM, we have our appointments the same day.
That's
Within an
right. That's right. I forgot about
within
that.
an hour
Yes,
within an hour of each other.
that's right. That's
Isn't that
excellent.
wonderful?
Love it.
Yeah. So yes, there were two beautiful ladies that were your prior guests. I just, stayed to meet me, I guess. I don't know.
Love it.
And and they were wonderful. They were absolutely wonderful. We had a good time. They were welcoming. I mean, I think I told them everything about me in just a week. I,
Here's my list. I love
I
it.
know, but I think they feel the same way that I feel about their time at Casa
Excellent.
ELM and their time in San Miguel. But wonderful. I'm glad they were there. I'm glad they
Yeah.
extended their stay. So
Yes.
that's a thing, I guess. It made my time there really wonderful. So I love the
Excellent.
ladies that I met there. Mhm.
Excellent. Excellent. I actually heard from
Yeah.
Miss Barbara this morning, and today was her official closing. So Heather,
Oh,
congratulations for her. She sent me a
wonderful.
really beautiful message this morning, and I'm
Okay.
so excited. I was like, I'm doing the happy dance. So
So
yeah.
she's in Mexico?
No, she's not. I think she had to go back and get some stuff done, but she did, like the
You
power
can,
of attorney and
oh,
everything.
okay,
So
okay,
she'll
okay.
be coming back
Ah,
soon, but today was the official. Yeah,
that's
so
wonderful.
happy for her. Yeah,
Oh,
so
me
happy for
too.
her. Yeah,
Me too. Yes, that's
exciting
wonderful.
things. I mean, if I think back to January, I've had the opportunity to meet so many amazing women like yourself and Brianna and just all the guests that have come through. And even like I said, for those who maybe came and thought, well, I want a bigger city, they
Mm-hmm.
moved on to maybe Querétaro or to check out some other places. They've all left, some really great, amazing energy, but also it's been nice to
Mm-hmm.
be a part of just seeing the transformation of getting to
Mm-hmm.
Mexico in general. It's a big thing. It can be scary. It can be
Mm-hmm.
overwhelming. One guest that was here on our January tour, she's coming back this weekend.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, she also got her temporary and maybe her permanent. I don't remember, but she's going to continue the process, and she's staying at Casa ELM for
Mm-hmm.
a few weeks until she gets through everything. But the point is, she's just kind of like feeling very comforted by the community that's already here.
That's
And there's
it.
some other
That's it.
people that have stayed at the house that are now here that came last weekend, and she's like, give so and so my number. They don't even know each other; they just know of each
Mm-hmm.
other. So the point
Mm-hmm.
is to say that when Casa ELM was birthed or founded
Mhm.
or whatever the idea, it wasn't maybe so much based on, you know, just having a space. It was really to help people integrate and have a space where everyone's under a roof. And, you know, you don't have to feel alone, you know, in the
Right,
process. And
right.
also for
Right.
me, having someone call me and say, thank you so much for your encouragement and your prayers. Or even this woman that's coming, she's like, oh my God, it's happening. I'm so anxious. I just need some words of encouragement. It's like, for me, I'm like, yeah, you know, you got this, you could do this, you know what I'm saying? So it makes
Mhm.
me feel super excited to feel like this space and this energy and this program and everything that all of us, it's not just, oh, Michelle, no, all of us are a part of it. And it's so amazing to see like people feeling comfortable and safe to come. They're like, oh, I landed in a space that is holding me and getting my fears away, and oh, those are just the words I needed, or I know it's going to be okay, but I just need to hear your voice. You don't really think, I don't really think about that until someone says it, and I think, man, yes, it can
Mhm.
be a little bit overwhelming, you know. I
Mhm.
mean, I'm
Mhm.
pretty tough, but I remember being on that second leg of my flight on the plane. I was like, what the heck am I doing? I was like, oh my God. And I was, you know, no one to call. But I remember waking up the next morning, walking in Central, and I just had a, you know, a full on experience that just felt like
Yeah.
this is the right thing. This is definitely for
I,
me.
yeah, I completely agree with you. I mean, that whole community, that whole network of people that has that surrounds Casa ELM, you, Brianna, and everybody else that you brought into our orbit. It feels as if, you know, when you're learning how to ride a bicycle
Yes.
and then you have somebody on the back, they're holding you, right? They're
Right,
there. And
right.
initially they're holding really hard, then they loosen and loosen. And then you're pedaling, you're pedaling. Next thing you know, you're riding the bike and you didn't
Yeah,
even realize the person let go. So it
exactly.
feels that community, that's exactly how it feels. Like you have someone holding on to that bicycle for you as
Yes,
you pedal along, as you get your confidence going, as you figure out what you want to do, where you want
right.
to be, whether it's there or anywhere else in Mexico.
Mhm.
It gives confidence that, yeah, you can do this. You can do
Yes.
this.
Yeah, no, I
So,
love that.
I,
I love it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So thank you for supplying that. Just confidence in
Absolutely.
itself. You know how much you
Absolutely.
need confidence to do things, right?
Yeah, and a little push, a little, you know, you got
A
this.
little push, a little push.
You know, I mean, it's definitely doable, and I think it's good for,
Simple.
you know, us to see ourselves in other people's situations. And that was really the whole intention, even from the beginning, was like, this is not abnormal, you know, like, you know, I'm a normal person and I'm here. You can do it too, a little planning, a little, you know,
Yeah,
educating
yeah.
yourself and maybe connecting with people. It's such a beautiful thing. And I'm really grateful, like I always say, to be a part of other
Yes.
people's journeys, but also this movement of people looking for alternative things to whatever their current situation is if they're not happy, you know. So I'm super
Yeah,
happy.
I was blown away by the dinner when I saw all these women that are doing or have done exactly what I want to do.
Yeah,
I was just in awe, amazed by them.
yeah,
Yeah, so once you see people doing it, like you just said, you
right.
feel you can do it too. You feel you can
Exactly,
do it too.
exactly.
Yeah,
And
it
just
was
even
one.
having people to connect to immediately. Like it's, you know, you get here, you know, it's a small enough place where you're gonna meet someone out, grocery store, coffee shop, or restaurant, walking on the street. You're gonna see, you know, I see sisters, brothers all the time, and I'm just like, hey, you know, I get super excited because when I came here, I didn't see us. The point simply is that there's so many amazing people. I mean, I even have people just, oh, I saw you on YouTube, I want to come over
Mhm.
to my housewarming or come over and have a meal. And this is every and anyone. This is just the foreign community here in general, even the non-foreign, the locals, so I
Mhm.
feel super happy to be in this. I call it a bubble. It's a little bit of a bubble of paradise, because when I go to
Yeah.
other places, I'm like, oh, they're not as nice. Aw. You know?
No. No,
So I'm
you
always excited
definitely,
to come back to
yeah.
Mexico, but yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you definitely don't feel exactly what you said. That bubble, like a nice old robe.
Yeah,
You feel that you're
exactly. Old
snuggling in.
broken in slippers. Like,
There you go.
yes, this is
There,
comfort.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then everybody's encouraging. It is a fearful and frightening thing when you
Yeah.
want to leave your homeland and go someplace else, especially if you're doing it on your own, and
Mhm.
not bringing the whole family with you, a single
True.
woman, a Black woman.
Yeah.
It can be frightening,
Mhm.
but it's also empowering. Just the
Mhm.
fact that we're willing to take that step.
Mhm.
It's empowering.
It really
Really
is.
is.
It
Hmm.
really is. I mean, it's empowering, and I think one of the most empowering pieces is that you now are a light to other people. It's to see that happening. I was even talking to my son about this a week ago, and I was like, I want you to also be a light to parents who have children who maybe want out. I said, sometimes you don't know how you can affect someone in a positive way with a very
Mhm.
small thing. I said, I've had people, I should say single moms, reach out that were clearly in a state of depression and darkness. And I said, just a little light helps someone see an alternative option, your message or your story or your experience or your perspective or your journey, whatever that is. And that could be the one single thing or multiple small things that you've added to their viewpoint and maybe their thoughts that help them come out of that somehow or think of another way. There are a lot of people
Mhm.
who are not happy, where they are. And that's the point, so I just feel like let's just keep adding to that and, just
Exactly.
showing that it's definitely an option. It's not for everyone, but
Yes.
it's an option for those
It's
that.
not for everyone, but
Mhm.
not everything is for everybody. So,
Amen.
amen.
Amen to that. Do you have any
And I was
questions? Go ahead. I'm
Well,
sorry.
no, it's okay. Just a comment. I was actually surprised at the number of young people
Mhm,
that I met through you at your place at Casa ELM. I was
mhm,
actually surprised by all these really young people with
mhm.
such courage that I
Yeah.
did not have at their age. I'm
Uh,
like, what is this? This is a new breed of young people. It must be the Similac. I don't know,
it's that new vaccine. Just kidding.
I don't know
I
what's
think I
doing
think
it.
it's just having access to more information. It's right at our fingertips. You can find
Yeah.
anything on the internet. Even for my son's generation, he's called a digital native because he's never been without an electronic. I was born into 8-track tapes and records.
Me too.
Brianna don't know about that.
No, Brianna doesn't know anything about
She
that.
might. She might.
She don't know. She saw
I
it on
know a little
TV.
She's like, scratching the records and yeah, and 8-track tapes. I remember like trying to fix the cassette tapes and oh Lord, recording.
You could take a pencil in
Yeah, and
between
wheel
and
it back
you.
around. I'm totally dating myself right now, but
I know. I know.
no, but I do think that that's a huge part of it. And
Yeah.
again, just the experiences that I had with travel I was never able to share them outside of my immediate circle. or my, and I knew that I was doing a lot of things that were maybe more of a rarity, because I had lots of friends who had never even left Connecticut, or had not traveled so much around the US, or had never left the United States, had never gone to Europe. And thank God, I was fortunate enough to have these experiences. But I remember thinking, like, I didn't even feel comfortable talking about them, because it felt like I was bragging in some capacity. So a lot of times I didn't share, because I felt that if they're not really interested, they're just not interested. However, this is the blessing with having media and internet, and being able to share with those who are. We found each other online because you had similar interests. And I think even if you don't know, sometimes, and I've met a lot of women through this process who were just like, I know I needed a change, or I wanted a change, but I didn't know what that was. Again, media made that, social media or internet made that possible for them to see, not just myself, but a lot of other people sharing their stories. And that's the difference. And I'm really like, yeah, I'm excited to see what happens in the next 10 years, 20 years. People are going to be moving all over the place.
Yes, yes. I'm so glad that this time is here. This is exactly, I'm so glad that this time is here. This is exactly what I've imagined, but I didn't know exactly what it was.
Right.
But the feeling of what I'm doing and want to do and what's possible is exactly what I've always imagined. So it's as if making something that was in my head more tangible, which is what this is doing. And I'm all for it. Come on down, everybody, travel.
Exactly. Or just come hang out, do
Just
a
come
group
hang
thing,
out.
check it out, see if it's for you. Yeah, we welcome everyone.
For you. Relaxation, or do as much as you want. You have it both ways.
Exactly.
So just come and see what. Oh, I didn't mention how physically beautiful the place was.
Oh,
how could I forget?
Thank you.
No, it's absolutely beautiful and calming, because I had the room upstairs, and there was a balcony right outside the door. And I'd go up over there and just sit there and just breathe in. And it was just so quiet, other than the dogs. But I heard the birds. You can hear the birds. And that was just lovely. It's just so calming. I love that part.
I love the energy there. Every time I go there, I just sit on the couch and I'm just like,
just
relaxing.
Just sit.
It's super calming.
And the great part, at least for me, or those of us that are thinking of retirement, or just slowing it down, is that you can do as much as you want, or as little as you want. And there's no stress, no pressure. You don't feel as if you have to do anything if you don't want to do anything. So that takes a lot of stress off a person. You can just relax.
Exactly. I agree with that
it's lovely.
a lot. I think that funny enough, being in other cities, living in other cities for years on end, even being in South Florida, Miami especially, it's like there's a lot of party kind of things to do, maybe like art gallery kind of things to do, or stuck up kind of things to do. But one of the things I really love about here is, and I was saying this to a friend in Florida recently, and I was just like telling him, I said, the difference with living there, because I know him from there, and living here is, I feel like people really want to get to know you. There's a lot going on besides just what do you do, where do you work, things like that, where are you from. They really talk to you, and they really get to know you, and they also genuinely want you to come into their world, no matter where they're from. What I find is you could be rubbing shoulders with a lot of people who are affluent, and you don't know it because they're just so
Right.
down to earth. And I really like that about San Miguel is, you can sit down and have like an amazing conversation, and it could be someone really famous that you just don't even realize, or someone who, has like a whole bunch of things going on behind the scenes, and they're not talking about themselves in this capacity. We're talking about things that affect us as humans or affect the community we live in and things like that. So I really like that there's a little bit more depth as well in terms of getting to know people here, and people also give of themselves in this capacity. It doesn't feel so superficial. That I really missed, because I had that when I lived in Connecticut, and then I moved around a little bit, and I didn't have it for probably 10 or 15 years. And when I got here, I just kind of was like, oh, this is really nice to talk about Mexican history, Afro-Mexican history, other information about, the geography of the land, the indigenous people that live here, the different
The
the
architecture.
architecture, the plant medicines, just different things that I'm just like, wow, that's like super interesting. And you meet someone who's an artist, and someone who's a writer, and someone who's a musician, and it's just really cool. It's just a really interesting, in my opinion, creative, even very creative melting pot for anyone. And I do think that most everyone that I've met, they feel welcomed no matter what the color of their
Yeah.
skin is. And I'm just,
Yes.
I talk about that because I think San Miguel somewhat has, if you don't know it, and what maybe some of the things have been that you've heard, is that it's just, a gringo and an older, town with retirees. And that's not the case. I really think that's been it's changed a lot. Maybe that's what it was 20 or 30 years ago, but it's definitely very different. Yeah. So, and it's
Yeah,
also
I
nice
saw
for us to
all.
sprinkle our little pepper around. Yeah.
Yeah, a little pepper.
Yeah, we need a little
You
pepper.
can't eat with all salt.
Exactly.
And I completely agree with what you said. But although I saw people of all ages, I think the younger crowd definitely came out as the sun was going down.
Yeah, that's true.
So I saw younger people out and about as the sun was going down. But as far as walking around and meeting all types of people, you mentioned a musician and artist, and this is true.
Yeah.
That happened exactly as I was
Yeah.
walking around.
Yeah. That's
I
so
did
true.
need a musician. I
Yeah.
did need an artist. Yes.
Yeah.
As I was walking about, it did
Yeah.
happen.
It's
Yeah.
amazing. There's a lot of cultural things happening here that I
Mhm.
think, if you have anything that you may have always wanted to try or were curious about, I think you can find someone here that's offering a class on it. Whether it's metal, there's someone who teaches metalwork. There's a guy I met on Monday. He's Canadian, and he's like, I'm a carpenter. And,
Wow.
someone asked him, do you teach classes? Look, I can. He also makes wings. I was like,
Wings?
carpenter and wings. Yeah. But,
Wings,
the
like wings?
chicken wings, like chicken wings. He
Chicken.
has a whole chicken wing restaurant. And he was like, here's my card. So the point is that it's just so diverse, and so many people doing basically just maybe things they always
Yeah.
wanted to do. They're just like,
Yeah.
I like this and I like that. I like these three things, or they're
Yeah.
just throwing it out there.
And what you mentioned about that people are not as superficial and there's more in depth here. If you're slowing down and if you're not so rushed and you're not so hurried, you have time. You
True.
have time to actually, if you ask a question, you can actually listen to the answer,
Right.
not just you have to scurry about
That's
because
very
you
true.
have an appointment. Yeah.
True. That's
So
true.
if you can slow down a little bit, you definitely can actually have a conversation.
Yeah, no, this
with
is true.
people.
That's a great point.
Mhm.
I do think people are definitely more rushed and hurried. Back in the US, I felt that way. Constant, too much to do. And yeah, And here, yeah, you can definitely slow it down. I mean, our dinners, but also others that I go to is like, oh, I'm still here. It's 10 hours later. Literally, I've been at places I'm like, I came at 1 and I'm leaving. It's like after 11 in the night. It's like, okay, this was amazing, and time goes by and there's like, drinks gone by and food. And yeah, it's really a social place.
I was doing some research about that, and that actually, yes, San Miguel, but that's actually the Mexican culture.
It is.
That's actually the Mexican
really
culture. So they do take time. They to socialize.
Exactly. It's rude of you to leave, eat and run. So just saying. Don't get your paper plate and then run out the door.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Gotta slow it down.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was a fabulous experience, and I couldn't stop talking about San Miguel when I got back. I told all my friends about it, and I'm cautious about telling. I did, but I'm cautious about telling. I've told only my closest and most trusted friends about my near future plans, because people have a tendency, especially trying out something new, you're trying out something that's completely different than what most people do, right? Especially the people in my circle. I didn't want doubts and or the when you do your pros and cons, I didn't want all the cons coming out.
Yeah.
And there are cons to everything, but I prefer to look at the pros. And if you're doing something like this, moving to another country, becoming an expat, and you're telling your plans to people that are not necessarily like-minded, you may not get the encouragement that you need. And so I chose who I would tell within my circle what I'm doing. But those that I felt were open-minded, I just rant and raved. I told them everything.
Yeah. And that's a good that's a good approach. I mean, I definitely experienced that, and I've heard that from a lot of people, because I saw a phrase somewhere, and it was on an expat. It was on an expat move abroad, maybe to Mexico or just in general site, and they were like, you can't show someone who's blind about your vision. They are not going to see it, and they're not going to understand it. And to be honest with you, throughout my life in general, anytime I made a move or a change, I realized people were projecting their own fears of change.
Absolutely.
And that would be, the first thing was a warning of some sort that could derail your plans, or your thoughts, or
Absolutely.
like you said, can be that little gray cloud that you just don't need, because we all experience that. I think, there's a sense of adventure. There's a sense of, oh, I'm out of here, because I know that's how I felt. I was like, I am a rolling stone and I'll just keep on rolling. However, at the same time, there are those who are worried. My dad was very worried about me. He was supportive, but he was very worried. I had people in my life, in my circle as well, that I didn't share anything with. I literally didn't even tell people till I was already here and in my place. And I was like, this is my new home. And even then, people were like, oh, aren't you worried about being kidnapped? I was like, aren't you worried about being shot? Like, really? I was like, there is nothing or any reason for anyone to kidnap me, because I don't have any money. So just saying, like, I'm not the one. And I remember one of my friends was like, you're not their demographic. I was like, I know I'm not. So, it's just funny how, people can project certain things. And I get it. I know they do it because they're concerned, and maybe lack of knowledge about, what you're doing and where you're going, especially if they haven't seen it or been there. But I even find it funny that people are comfortable to go to Cancun, but they're worried about you going to San Miguel. I'm kind of like, it's still Mexico.
Yeah.
So,
it's
like,
lack of knowledge. lack of
It
knowledge,
really
what you
is.
said.
It
Yeah,
is.
it's like,
And that's what we're here for, is,
yeah.
to encourage people. Again, if it's not for you, it's not for you. But if it is for you, or you think it's for you, this is these are things that are catalysts to that journey that you may have only had up here. And now you can kind of gain more insight and knowledge on other people's experiences. And that's why we will continue to share.
Yes. And then this venue, I must say this, and that's the reason that I chose to come to Casa ELM as opposed to, I don't know, get a hotel and Airbnb and do this on my own,
Yeah.
because of the support.
Right.
You're there, Brianna's there. There was a whole itinerary put in place.
Mhm.
I felt safe. Okay. And there's somebody, even though I ventured out a lot on my own,
Right.
I knew there was somebody back there.
Right.
So for my first time in Mexico, Brianna was, you and Brianna, everybody was just a phone call away. If
Right.
I'm lost actually in Central, I'm like, well, I'm looking for this, Brianna, where is it? And she,
That's
it was
true.
that easy. It was that easy.
Yeah.
So that's why this type of venue, having the Casa ELM there and having support, it's good for those of us that are venturing out for the first time.
Right.
Because you're not out there on your own. There
Right.
is support. There's people giving you information, and you can just go out on your own, or you can stay closed in, but it's there.
Right. Right. And we also provide, like things we recommend based on what, you like to do. Some people are into the whole spiritual thing and they want to do a Temazcal or the hot springs or get a massage or whatever, some want to just go maybe have amazing food and they want to go to vineyards. And so, it's sort of like a more intimate experience is probably the way I would put it. I mean, you have your own space. It's a very spacious house. So you're not like on top of each other. But it also gives you the opportunity to not feel like you said, I'm just landing in a hotel or Airbnb alone. And now I got to kind of figure out who's around, even though I can say San Miguel is a place to very easily meet people. But it kind of depends on you, like if your personality is super outgoing and you're comfortable walking around. Some people are afraid to do that. I had, it was here
Yeah,
a
sure.
couple of weeks ago, and she was just like, oh, I want to, go to salsa. So I was like, yeah, these places do salsa. She's like, I'm not going by myself. And I was like, well, I can go with you. But, so it all kind of depends as well on the person. And, just kind of the comfort level of getting out and seeing things and knowing that, we are here. We are that, blanket you can kind of, or cushion you can kind of fall on if you, like you said, get lost or you need someone to translate something for you. So it's, like I said at the beginning of the year, the house for me just going to speak to me. What exactly do people need? And it's definitely growing in terms of the direction that we've been taking and the things that we think will be super beneficial to those that are interested in San Miguel. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And
So
Brianna here, you're so quiet, Brianna. She was a magnificent help.
Yes.
You were such a magnificent help, Brianna. I really, really appreciate everything you did.
Thank you. Thank you. We enjoyed having you.
Yes. Amazing. So I don't know if you have any other thing you want to input, and we'll wrap this up. Any questions, Brianna?
Well, just to say thank you, ladies. I mean, thank you for introducing me to the ladies that I met. Thank the dinner and introducing me to the community. Met quite a bit of people. Just in 7-8 days. Quite a bit of people. I think what you're doing there is great. I mean, I wish I thought about it, but you beat me to it.
Join forces.
We can.
Yes.
I think it's just wonderful what you're doing, and
Thank you.
that you're reaching out to people. I know initially it was more us because we need to push more. You know,
Yeah.
traditionally we didn't have it, um, but it's open to all. It's open
Yeah.
to all who has the courage to do it. So. I thank you for Casa ELM. That place is fabulous. I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. And I love I love San Miguel. And thank you for making it a really, really good experience.
Thank you.
Because of my experience there, I'm heading back. I have my appointment.
Yes,
And I'm
we're
heading
super
back.
happy. We're super
I
happy. We're
am.
saying we're probably getting at least 85% of the people that come that are like ready to just sign on the dotted line, whether it's rental or
Wow.
even right after you, another client came and I spoke to her today, and she was at Casa ELM, I think for a week. She found the place. She also got an appointment in Orlando. She's also from Florida. So yeah, there you go. You have another potential person to hang out with when you get here. She's super sweet. She's from Trinidad, and she's coming back, I
Okay.
think, in October, but she already found her place. She
Oh
already,
my goodness. That's
yeah,
excellent.
yeah,
That's excellent.
yeah.
All
So,
right. All right.
yeah,
You're doing it. You're making changes.
yeah. Well, I
That's
just
wonderful. 85%. Wow.
giving light. Here's the light. It's for you
Thank
too.
you. I received it.
Yay. Yeah. So if there's nothing else, we'll wrap it up.
Well, thank you, ladies. Thank you
Thank,
so much, Brianna.
thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Michelle.
Thank you, Dina. So
All
if you
right.
haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. If you're interested in our tours, please go to CasaELM.com. If you're interested in booking a relocation strategy session, you can go to expatlifemexico.com and book a session there. You'll get 60 minutes of a whole lot of information that's kind of like a light version of our relocation tours. But yeah, we're here to help as many people who are interested in San Miguel and all the cool, good things that we're doing. And also on Casa ELM, Brianna has put together amazing vacation packages. If you just want to come and check it out, we have a lot of things that are surrounding holidays or special events coming up in 2023. And we're also going to be doing a women's retreat in, I think it's the beginning, February 1st through the 7th. So stay tuned for that. Yeah. So we're excited to kind of put stuff out there. And the one last thing, really, I need to kind of remember this stuff. We're going to have influencer weekend. So we're going to have a bunch of really amazing YouTubers, influencers that will be at Casa ELM in the middle of January. So there'll be a lot more. Some of your favorite people like Stephanie Perry, Rashida, the Yarbrough, they're going to be coming. So we're super excited to hang out with them for a few days and talk more about what we're doing here and basically roll right into 2023 with bells and whistles. Yeah. So,
all right.
Thank you again.
Great. Sounds great. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye, Brianna.
I'll see you soon.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.